Hi boys and girls, welcome to video 2 of Unit 5, Shoot for the Stars. In the first video, we learned about the words solar system, planet, and orbit. In this video, we will learn 3 new words: phase, outer space, and astronaut. First, let's start with our picture of the day. What do you observe? I'll pause a moment while you look at the picture. I'd like to share some things I observe. I observe a person, I observe a really dark sky. I observe some bright dots. I observe one big bright dot in the sky. I observe this tool thing the person is using. Do you know what that is? It's a telescope. What inferences can you make based on your observations? I infer it is nighttime because the sky is dark. I also infer the person is looking at the moon or stars because the telescope is pointing towards the big bright dot. Let's take a look at our 3 new words. Phase. A phase of the moon is a shape of the moon as we see it from Earth. Notice how the moon's shape seems to change. Repeat after me. Phase. Outer space. Outer space is the huge area just beyond Earth. Have you ever looked up at the sky at night and just wondered what is out there? Beyond our Earth is the area called outer space. Repeat after me. Outer space. Astronaut. An astronaut is someone who travels and works in space. Right now, we have astronauts that live in outer space on the International Space Station. They live in space so they can learn all about the stars and the Earth and the moon and planets. Repeat after me. Astronaut. Let's take a few minutes to read a text about the moon. You will see our vocabulary word phases in this text. Follow along while I read. The moon is our closest neighbor in space. It orbits around our planet. The moon takes about 29 days to circle Earth. The moon does not make its own light. It just reflects light from the sun. We can see the moon because the sun shines on it. As the moon orbits Earth, the sun shines on different parts of it. So the moon reflects different amounts of light. That's why the moon's shape seems to change. We call these changes the phases of the moon. The first phase is the new moon. We can't see the moon at all during this phase. That's because the sun is shining only on the part of the moon facing away from the Earth. As the moon slowly turns to face Earth, we start to see it again. Each day, the moon reflects more light. First, we see a crescent moon, then a half moon. After about 14 days, a full moon shines at night. These phases of the moon happen every month in the same order. After the full moon, the moon reflects less and less light to Earth, so it seems to get smaller. The moon changes to a half moon and then a crescent moon. Then it becomes a new moon and the cycle starts over. Long ago, people noticed the regular pattern of the moon's phases. They used it to keep track of time. In fact, our word month comes from the word moon. Let's think about what we just read. What do you think the word neighbor means in the first sentence? The moon is our closest neighbor in space. Have you heard the word neighbor before? A neighbor is someone who lives near you, or someone who sits or stands next to you, or a country or a state that shares a border with yours. So I think the word neighbor in this sentence means the moon is closest to us in space. Do you remember what the first phase of the moon is called? Check the paragraph next to the number 2 and see if you can find the name of the first phase. Did you say new moon? If you did, that's correct. I wonder, what happens on the 14th day of the moon's phases? Well, 14 is halfway to 28, and the moon takes 28 to 29 days to circle the Earth. So on day 14, we see a half moon, because the moon is halfway through its cycle. What happens after the full moon phase? Look back at the paragraph next to the number 4. The moon reflects less and less light each day, until we get back to the new moon, and then the cycle starts all over. Take a look at the pictures at the top of the picture. What do those pictures show? Those pictures show how each phase of the moon looks to us on Earth. The moon isn't disappearing or reappearing. we are only seeing what the sun reflects. Over the next few days or weeks, take a look outside every now and then. If it's a clear night, look for the moon. Do you notice how it seems to change its shape from one day to the next, or from one week to the next week? You will complete part 2 of our follow-up activity. Remember, if you can access internet, go to your class link and click on Seesaw. There you will go back to the vocabulary set 1 activity and complete the next 3 words. Phase, outer space, and astronaut. Remember, you can play the instructions if you don't remember what to do. If you do not have access to Seesaw or the internet, remember you can use notebook paper. Make your 3 boxes. Split each box into fourths. Write the words phase, outer space, and astronaut. Draw a picture of what each word means. Write a definition. Remember, it doesn't have to be my definition, whatever the word means to you. If you are able to, use the word in a sentence and write it in the 4th box. Don't forget to submit your work to your teacher either through Seesaw or sending a picture through email or text. See you next time.